Welcome, everybody, to another live edition of our roundtable right here in our studios from Inside Out. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you guys again for popping in here and being in here with another great podcast right here. Man, oh man, we have a very interesting podcast for you guys here tonight. And as you guys can see in the title description of this video, we're going to be talking about something that actually, believe it or not, in some circumstances, gets shoved under the rug. Yeah, absolutely. And it's called accountability. Yep. And I think some of you may know some out there that don't do that very well. I know a few that don't do that and all of that. So yeah, we are definitely here to talk about something that I believe is very important to me. Because again, if certain people, and again, I'm going to tell you who those people are here in a few minutes. But again, if certain people would start holding themselves more accountable of their actions in this country, I don't think we'd be in this mess that we're in. More on that later. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the chat real quick before I start this thing. And I want to give a major shout out to my friend, Cynthia. And she comes in and says, hello, welcome, Cynthia. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Got a message, an update for you. So stand by for that. Also, we have, and I got to find it now. And where did it go? Curtis is in here. There he is. Curtis said, yep, absolutely. And he was talking about we were talking about, before we went live, about the heat-related issues. And he said yesterday it was hotter where he lives. So yeah, all the southern states, guys, real quick, is just sweltering. And we're just into the beginning of the summer. So it's going to be a busy one and a very bad one, I have a feeling, nonetheless. Tin Man's in here. Hey, Tin Man, also we have an update for you too as well. And if Mark is in here later tonight, hopefully he will be. Hopefully we'll have Mark in here, so his update is included with this too. So Cynthia and Tin Man and Mark all have an update message for you guys. So there's that. And also we have Trey Stone in here. He said this, accountability is good. You know, you want to make sure you are accountable enough, but sometimes you need to consider whether you might be taking on too much accountability. Yeah, I get that. Absolutely, Trey. Nicely said. Yes, there's a certain amount you're supposed to have, and then, of course, you want to go too buck wild on it. But absolutely, you made a great point. Appreciate you, Trey. Welcome in. So let's go ahead and give the people that were involved with the contest that we put on our 6-year anniversary of being live here on YouTube. So here's my update for the contest winners. Okay, so this is for Tin Man, Cynthia, and Mark, because Wanda was the winner, but Wanda respectfully is taking her prizes and giving them to Mark. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So with that being said, let's go ahead and give the update to all three of you to let you know what's going on. Number one, I've been having some technical issues with my store or my product. I've been going through a website called Spring. I don't know if you guys have heard of that before. Yes. Before Spring, I was going through Bonfire. Wasn't a big fan of that. They weren't a very good website to keep me happy. But I'm having the same issue, if not worse than Bonfire, with Spring. Every time I make a t-shirt or design some type of new merch, it gets deleted. And I can't order. I can't do what I need to do when it comes to that store. So I have to get rid of that store and find another one before I can send you guys your gifts. However, I can still send you your other portion of your prize through the mail and in a envelope like this, a standard envelope that you would see in the mail. So once you see my information on that envelope, that is your prize, or part of it anyway, is coming from me. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I do apologize, though, for the hiccup when it comes to the prizes. You're still going to get your guys' prizes. You just have to bear with me and let me have some more time. It's a technical issue. I can't fix it. I spent, I don't know how many hours last night in my studio trying to fix Spring, and to no avail. So I have to come up with a new store line and most likely new products and all that fun jazz. So I'm not happy with Spring. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let you know that your small prize is going to come in an envelope like this. Okay. So look out for it. I'll be taking care of that this week sometime. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and put the chat. Terry Stone said these parties confuse accountability with punishment, and so holding someone accountable means no one can ever be punished enough. Absolutely. Moving on, Trey said this: being accountable for all things wrong in your life all the time isn't healthy. No, it isn't. Nothing you can do can undo what you've done. Absolutely. It's a false illusion. You can fix everything. No one can do that. Absolutely. Thank you, Trey. And Curtis says, I know that is right. Trey said, so being perpetually accountable to your victim puts us in an impossible situation that is never improving. They just might not know that is not improving. Right, absolutely. And then Tim Man says, no problem, Jay, no worries. Thank you for your understanding, Tim Man. I appreciate that. And Cynthia gets in here and says this, that's no problem. It's totally understandable. Thank you guys for your understanding. I really appreciate that, guys. Awesome. Sometimes things are beyond my control. Trey said this, because the part that needs attention actually resides within them. Absolutely. Mine was law enforcement, Curtis said. And Curtis also said this, so who was my victim? Absolutely. And maybe we can touch base on that, Curtis, a little bit later in the podcast if there's time. My good friend Tammy's in here. Welcome, Tammy. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here, as usual. And of course, you're more than welcome to come up on the panel, Tammy, and help me do this podcast if you want. It's up to you. No obligation. All right. With that being said, though, however, let's go ahead and get into the topic for tonight. Again, as you guys can see, we're talking about accountability and the whole entire thing, what it means, the definition, all of that right here tonight. And I think it's very, very hold on a second here. Cynthia said this. I think it's very insightful and educational that we talk about accountability because, again, there's a few select people that I know and others that don't do this very well. All right. So anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the topic. I got to do the share screen thing. So Tammy, if you want to come in real quick, if you can hear me, pop in now so I can get you in here. Then I'll do the share screen. If not, I'm going to go ahead and do the share screen. And then after I'm done doing that, I'll get you back in here later. Do you want to come in now or do you want to come in later, Tammy? It's up to you. Let me know. Okay, there she is. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our good friend Tammy to the show. Welcome, Tammy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm still breathing. I'm still here. What a week, huh? What a mess.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Go ahead.
One of the things I want to bring up before we really get in this tonight, there was a young gentleman. Cynthia has ties to him. Her son does. Her oldest son was medically neglected at best and was unalived because of them placing him around another inmate who was actively exposing other people to TB, not on purpose, but the staff, through their own carelessness and neglect, had this person that was tuberculosis positive, and now a 25-year-old is no longer with us on this earth because of medical neglect of Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And there is no bringing somebody back. This isn't the cartoons where you do something over and over again. Oh, okay, we're going to be able to bring them back. It's not that way. And
right.
It absolutely 100% sucks.
Yeah, no, I agree. See, I get lost for words, and my emotions get involved in this, and I try not to do that. But that's the human side of me, guys, and Tammy. Wow.
You know how I feel about it. You know how pissed off I get and
Oh, absolutely.
hurt, and just as a mother, I think we talked about this, is that I'm almost desensitized to a point sometimes, because almost medically, because you and I are exposed to it all the time. And
I
when
know.
you live it and breathe it, after a while, it's like it rips your heart out, but at the same time, you can't let.
Yeah.
What did John say to us in the chat today? He said, Tammy, you have to divorce the emotion, but
Yeah, that was good.
I love you, John, but yeah, that's just not me. All the other things that come with
Right.
it makes me angry as a mother, as a sister, as a aunt, as a, you know, everything you can think of. That's
Well,
somebody's dad, uncle, cousin, son,
right.
brother.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. Just me. And, I have to do this now that you brought this up. So I'm going to ask Cynthia to bring that story or that link to that situation into the chat. So, Cynthia, if you can hear me real quick, if you can hear me, please put that story that Tammy just brought up in the chat. Or Tammy, if you have it put in the chat, I'm going to do a little bit tidbit on that tonight. I'm going to go over my time for this. And also, Tammy, if you also can put in that, what's it called? That that heat challenge deal.
The
If you have the link
heat
to
that
that,
I haven't done yet. Yeah.
yeah, put that in
Y'all
the
get
link tonight
ready.
too. If
My friends,
huh?
get ready, because we're going to be tagging you guys. I said, my
Yes.
friends, get ready, because I'm going to be tagging some of y'all. And I want you to try and make it your goal to tag at least 5 people. There
Mhm.
is a disclaimer on it that says,
Welcome in, Orphan.
do this at your own risk, because I don't know anybody's health situation. So do it at your own risk. The other challenge was like 3 minutes. I decided 1 minute was enough, because I did it yesterday, but I didn't film it. 1
Okay.
minute is plenty to get the point across.
No, I agree. For what is it? Health issues and standards, you got to be smart about it.
Yeah.
It's only for people that can withstand it and go longer with the 3 minutes. I'm gonna try, and this is not a show off moment. I'm gonna try to go over 3, just because.
Yeah.
But Tammy, I want you to make sure you do the tagging and all that fun jazz and get it going, because then that's how we make this go viral. If you have the info though for tonight, that story about what you told me earlier from when Cynthia, I believe, shared it
Let
to
me see
you.
if it'll let me put pictures in the chat. I don't know if it will, but
Well, if there's a link to it, put the link in. I don't know, but we'll see what we can do.
okay.
I want to make a thing of it. I'm going to go over my time tonight just because of that. Cynthia said, Curtis said, I will always test positives to TB. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
hear
my
that,
dad was
Curtis.
a carrier for TB, but if it's let go, and in some people it'll manifest. Yeah, do you have the link for the GoFundMe though, Cynthia?
Well, I'll wait for her to get in here. Curtis said, when I first got out, I want justice and revenge. Oh yeah, we all do, buddy. Absolutely. Okay, John's in here. Welcome, John. Thank you so much for being here. Curtis said, I was so angry. Yeah, I don't blame you. Absolutely. And then Cynthia says, I appreciate this. Absolutely. This is the only place, keep in mind, this is the only place, God dang it, that you're going to get this. I don't think any other people are going to put this out that I know of. But anyways, absolutely. So Tammy, while we're waiting for all of that links and other information and data regarding that story and that situation, let's go ahead and get into the share screen and start this podcast off about accountability. There it is, guys. Trayson said, you are responsible for causing irrational fear for the public, but it's also irrational fear. So how accountable are we for it? Absolutely. Great points, Trey. Spot on. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's do the share screen and get some of this information up right now on the screen so you guys can follow along and read along with me. Let's go ahead and do the first thing first, which is here. You guys have seen this, I think, somewhere. Anyways, all links and information, guys, are in the chat, or excuse me, not the chat, but the description of this video here tonight. I will zoom in on this a little bit more so you guys can see it. All right, there we go. So what you're seeing here on your screen, let me do this, is accountability in the age of impunity.
Okay,
Okay,
so
this was
let me get to it. Yeah, there we are. Okay.
what's up, Tammy?
So what I was going to tell you, like, I don't know if you can see it on yours, but this is from the United States Institute of Peace. It's
Yes,
almost
it's right here.
ironic, but you can put in that box where I put accountability. You
Mm-hmm.
go down to type where it says type of content. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
kind of letting everybody know. You can look at blog posts, centers, South Sudan peace, fellowship, discussion topics, global campus courses you can take, grants that they have to teach things.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Publications, news, person, projects, and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff on there. Anyway, and then you can go to whatever country you want to see about. And then you
Awesome.
can go, this is like a global initiative. So here's where I thought this was ironic. I'm like reading it and I was kind of breezing through it while I was trying to work too, you know.
Okay.
But it goes in, there's several different articles on this page. But it says human rights violations, U.S. foreign aid for accountability and prevention.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm gonna be a little ugly tonight. Sorry.
No,
But
Tammy, just be
what
you. Be you. It's okay.
absolutely pisses me off is here we are once again, folks, getting in foreign business, telling other countries how they need to act, what they need to do, and how they need to do it. But yet we are sitting here. We have grilled other countries about how they treat their prisoners. But look at what we were doing in my state alone. And I know Florida's the same because Texas and Florida and Oklahoma and Louisiana, Mississippi, I'm missing somebody, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, all these southern damn states, for some reason, think it is okay. The federal government has a temperature set for 76 degrees in their prisons. They can not go any higher than that.
Yeah.
Texas has no cap. It can be 200 degrees in there and they can fry, like they can literally cook and it's okay.
Imagine that.
A guy cooked at 150 last year. So, like I'm saying, we need these organizations like this, and we need to try and support them in their efforts to even be bold enough to say, you know what? Okay, we're speaking about the atrocities in Ukraine and Russia and over in Israel and Palestine, but we're committing crimes. That is murder to me. It is
Correct.
murder for them to let them sit in there.
Yeah, and they get away with it.
Attempt that you can actually cook somebody in an oven.
Correct.
Anybody feel free. Anybody has any solutions or things you can think of? John had a terrific idea. Maybe he'll share it with the group. But we have got to push, guys. We have to push our locally elected and state elected officials to start pushing criminal prosecution of these governmental agencies that have been committing crimes against human beings.
Right. Yeah, and you can see the chat. Everybody's correct. Everybody's right on cue.
You can't be a vigilante. It's against the law. So why are guards and why are wardens and why are the powers that be that run these state agencies allowed to, and sheriffs and counties Why are they allowed to do things that are vigilante hate crimes
Mm-hmm.
when those are actually federal crimes? Why aren't the feds
Exactly.
stepping up and stopping it?
Mm-hmm. John's on fire. He said, "Get the NOAA, which is the weather people, to put a weather buoy in the prison pods." That would be very interesting to see the data on that.
Yeah, because if we go in and try and inspect, what we run into is that they'll go in. This is about accountability too. We're not just talking about offenders, we're talking about accountability for everybody. Our own personal accountability. How
Mm-hmm.
I hold myself in a public eye, how you hold yourself, what we do, how we are as human beings. We can't expect just because somebody got arrested and went to prison, when they come out into society, that we're going to hold them to a certain standards and not ourselves. That's
Right.
hypocritical and it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the reason why that word accountability is so strong, and the reason why I love that word. Why does certain people only have certain people are supposed to be accountable for their actions, but the others don't? That doesn't make any
Because as
sense
a
to me.
society, they want to look down on people that have been arrested. But listen, and I mean this with all my heart, there is not one person on this earth that you couldn't open their closet and not find a skeleton in there.
Oh, absolutely. I
And the
know a
ones
few of
that
them.
bark the most, the Karens of the
Yeah.
world, those are the ones that have the worst skeletons.
Yeah, absolutely.
The judges, the politicians.
Yep.
I can continue.
And here's the
Boy, do
thing.
I know some.
Right. And here's the thing, too. We are getting close to the time where our voting needs to count the most now, more than ever. November is
Yes.
coming, guys. This is the time that where we need to vote the corrupt out and get the people in that really want to do something for this country. This is the chance now. We won't, or are we not? We're going to burn our chances.
And we have to do it on our local levels too. We
Mm-hmm.
have to hold every aspect of government. And this is one thing for me. I believe that we need to stop letting them police their damn selves. There should
Right.
be no judicial committee run by judges. There should be no bar association run by lawyers.
Correct. There
Put
should
some
be no.
felons that have turned
There's,
their life around, that are mentors out in the public, put some pastors up there, and put some lawyers. And let's make it a 50-50 split. No more of covering everybody's asses. I'm tired of it.
well, and I think things would be so much better if we got rid of qualified immunity.
Oh, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Hold their asses accountable.
I agree.
Let's stop looking the other way or talking about it and discussing it to death. Let's take action. Pick up a paper and pen, write
Yeah.
your media. If we all drive them crazy, guess what happens?
Yeah. Well, again, this is where we, the people, need to stand up now more than ever. We, the people, we have the power. It's our. Look, government wouldn't exist, ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't for us. Government's alive and running because of us. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
We, the people, can either keep it going or shut it down. And we need to stop being afraid. Stop being intimidated by these government officials, these people that run our offices. We're the one paying the bill.
Well, let me ask you something, and I maybe somebody in the chat may know this better than me. In prison, what is it so damn hard for these men and women? I think women are more likely to get to come together, honestly, when it comes to
Yeah.
being unified. What is it that they will not unify together for something like a HEAT initiative and all of them file grievances? Listen, if you don't, we can fight on the outside so hard for our loved ones. But if our loved ones are afraid to step up, then that's where we have an issue. They can't go around and beat every prisoner in there. They're severely
Right.
outnumbered. So what is the issue? Can somebody please tell me
Hey,
what the
Demon.
issue is that we cannot get them to join and band together for a common ground to make effective change for a
Great
better
question.
life in there?
Corrupt is more important than anything else, I guess. So I get what you're saying, though. I've been saying that same question a long time, and no one can seem to answer it. So,
Well, the whole
but
purpose of this site, though, Jay, we really don't have much to read in an article on this one.
okay,
It was just more over me showing everybody an organization that there's so much reading I couldn't even begin to it's the tip of the iceberg on this one. If you just even
okay. Well, I'm just want to try to. I'm trying to my best, guys, as you know, Tammy, and everybody in the chat, to make the awareness, bring awareness to all of this. I do what I can with what I have, and yeah, Cynthia said, imagine that. Absolutely. John Doe said because corrections deliberately prevents prisoner unification because they're afraid of riots. That makes sense. And riots happen all the time, including hunger strikes. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, John. Well, Tammy, did you want to get in the data tonight, or do you want to keep going what we're doing here? I guess I can go ahead and get
Yeah,
into the
I mean,
data.
there is. Did you see? I didn't. Okay, there's a video that I sent you.
Yeah,
If you
you want
want
me
to
to
do
play
it,
that?
there's one more data too that I did send you that we can go over. That
Okay.
one is from let me find it. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're fired. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm fired.
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
It's the one that it says restorative justice. I sent it to you yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Or I
I think
even
I
sent
have it
the
up. Yeah,
thumbnail.
there. I have it up there. So do you want me to get that up for now?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Let's do this. Let's do this. Gosh dang it. Hold on one second. I had a boo boo.
It's okay.
Okay. Nothing is cooperating. Where's my. Oh, I already did it. Jeez.
It's okay.
All right. That one?
Yes.
All right.
Balance and
Do you want
restorative justice practice. Accountability. So the BARJ model, BARJ model, defines accountability as taking responsibility for your behavior and taking action to repair the harm.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability in the BARJ model takes different forms than in the traditional juvenile justice system. Accountability in most juvenile justice system is interpreted as punishment or adherence to a set of rules laid down by the system. However, neither being punished nor following a set of rules involves taking full responsibility for behavior or making repairs for the harm caused. Punishment and adherence to rules does not facilitate moral development at a level that is achieved by taking full responsibility for behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I was so excited for this one is because this is what I've been preaching in one of our chats, Jay, with our group
Okay.
of mentors. We cannot scare or instill fear into people to modify behavior. It does the opposite. That's the first thing. And I think we're learning that with our criminal rates
Mm-hmm.
rising daily. We have to teach people with love, compassion, understanding, and getting to the root of what is broken in them. Let them find their self seeking, fix that brokenness in them so that they can truly heal and be productive.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? It's like a plant. You can't keep throwing crap on a plant to make it better. You have to get at the root of the plant, pull that rotted piece out of it, clip it off, cut it out, and let the plant thrive from there. that is a part of treatment. You've got to get that part that's broken and repair that damage. And part of that is seeing what you do to other people. It's like a little toddler. Toddler comes up and bites you, Jay.
Yep.
They're just doing an animalistic instinct thing for whatever reason. Maybe they're scared. Maybe they want attention. Whatever. It's a failure to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to teach them how to communicate effectively the right way.
Right.
And until they realize that they hurt you physically and emotionally, whether they hurt your feelings and hurt you physically, until they see that damage that they did and can empathize with that feeling, not feeling sorry for you, but empathizing that they did something wrong, you can't correct that behavior. They're going to repeat it over and over again.
And that's where education needs to come involved. But I get what you're saying.
So in this, it says taking responsibility for behavior requires understanding how that behavior affected other human beings, not just the courts or the officials.
Absolutely.
Acknowledgement that the behavior resulted from a choice that could have been made differently. Acknowledging to all affected that the behavior was harmful to others. Taking actions to repair the harm when possible, and making changes necessary to avoid such behavior in the future. To be accountable for behavior is to answer to individuals who are affected by the behavior. Face-to-face meetings with community members or victims in which an offender takes responsibility and hears about the impact others constitute significant forms of accountability. So we can go on down where it says characteristics of restorative accountability strategies.
Okay.
Strategies that lead to restorative accountability goals. Focus on repair of harm to the victim. Provide a process for making amends to the community. Provide a process for greater understanding of how the incident affected others. Offer a meaningful way for the juveniles or the adult, this one's about juveniles, to take responsibility for the actions. Encourage apologies or expressions of remorse. Involve the victim and the community in determining the accountability measures. So they have different programs, and Montana has one, and I was trying to get the video to you. I don't know if I did or not. But they have a victim offender, almost like a pen pal thing that they do in Montana with their adult population, where they write and they mediate. They have a whole team, and they go back and forth between the victim and the prisoner. And it's very healing to both sides. But in this one, it says victim offender mediation and dialogue. So, and then you have family group conferencing, peacemaking circles, and then you have financial restitution of the victims, personal services to victims, community service, written or verbal,
and all of this information. Right. All this information, ladies and gentlemen, is in the description of my video tonight. If you want to click on this and look at it in your own leisure time. Go ahead, Tim.
Victim or community impact panels, community or neighborhood impact statements, victim empathy groups or classes, and then promising programs, accountability, Institute for Conflict Management in Orange, California. They have another one. It's a juvenile reparation program. So it's in Elkhart, Indiana. Victim Offender Reconciliation Program in Nashville, Tennessee. Tennessee's doing some really amazing things over there, too. Victim offender meetings which I think is really, really cool. That's in Dakota County, Montana. Like I said, Montana's doing a lot of really cool things. Crime repair crew, restorative justice, and it just goes on and on and on. My point, folks, is if we take our youth is key. Our youth is key. They are young. We can take them and we can help them learn to repair and change. And it's harder for adults, of course, especially if we have people that have been in the system like a merry-go-round.
Correct.
I'm not saying they're not beyond help.
Some aren't, yeah.
But there are some that are, that really finally get tired of that merry-go-round.
Correct.
And I don't think anybody's beyond saving, because we were built with both good and evil in us. We just have to reach that light and help them pull it out. Get rid of that darkness. So, I mean, there's a lot of things. I think community is very, very key, to be honest. I think that the whole community piece in this. And you can read those if you want, Jay. That's 4.
The ones I just highlighted?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you, Tammy, for doing all that for me. I appreciate you. It says this: seriousness of the offense. That's the crime. Past record of the youth. So basically the youth, they need to know if there's a past record, if they've done this before, that type of thing, yada yada. Next down the list is attitude of the youth. What kind of attitude do they have? Attitude of the youth's parents. And that's right here. I'm going to keep this one highlighted because I want to speak on this one the most. Real quick, guys. So bear with me. What you see on your screen, it says this: attitude of the youth's parents. That's where it starts. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the parents need to hold themselves a little bit more accountable than the youth. Why I say that? Now, again, you may think I'm sticking up for the youth. Hear me out. I'm a parent. My kids know that they know not to act up or do anything stupid, or they know that, dad's going to be upset. Good parents do right by their kids. Teach them right and wrong so they won't mess up. Now, there's a lot of parents out there, believe it or not bad mouthing, just saying, there's a lot of parents out there that don't give a damn. Deadbeat dad, deadbeat moms, and let their kids do whatever they want, which causes this seriousness of the offense. Kids shouldn't be doing any offenses because kids learn what they live. Remember that. I hope that makes sense. It starts in the home. But anyways, there's that. Is there anything else you wanted me to add to that, Tammy, or do you want me to come back out to the main screen?
No, the main screen's fine. I'm going to try. I did do one video I think I sent you, and then the one that I sent you on Facebook. I don't know if you watched it and got what I was saying, how simplistic.
Yeah, no, I did. Absolutely did.
I mean, I know it's weird, but it's also...
I think we should...
This is so simple.
I think we should play it here in a minute, but let me get in the chat here. I got to figure where I left off. There's a lot of people in here got their chat going. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I'll start here with Orphan. Orphan said that children need to grow up understanding the justice system throughout their educational years. Yes, because again, keep in mind, Orphan, our schools don't teach us none of this stuff. Believe it or not, they don't teach what it's really like, or put the fear, if you will, in these students and say, hey, if you mess up, this is where you're going to go. So. Yeah, it makes sense. And then Redeeming gets in here and says this: Orphan Annie, we do this for all education, starts at home with children, even if they are adults. Yeah, that's what I said. Absolutely. They have to justify what they do to others. Absolutely. Orphan said, at Curtis, yes, but most have no idea how the justice system works until they get into... until they get into trouble, and even then, you are kept in the dark how the legal system works. Absolutely. And Orphan said, Tennessee resident here. So Orphan lives in Tennessee. Wow. That's awesome. I'm going to be in that neck of the woods here soon. orphans, so maybe I'll run into you.
They're
So,
trying to do something there to change the way, you know, that sheriff that's in Arkansas that's doing that special program that we watched on Netflix.
oh yeah.
Unlocked. They're
Hmm.
trying to do something very similar to that in the prison system. The prison
Ooh,
system in Tennessee.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, me
I can
too.
get I can get behind that because
I
I
can be
liked what I
okay with
watched
that.
on that Netflix series. Absolutely did, and you know that was a great. It was a great show. I mean, it was entertaining in a sense and had its entertaining aspects, but nonetheless, I thought it worked. It worked wonders. It changed the men.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's what we've got to come across to is that, you know, education is where everything comes from. We can educate adults. Listen, there are people in there
Mm-hmm.
that have absolutely friggin' no family. All family has abandoned them. I'm not saying that some of them deserve any kind of anything, but if we're going to call ourselves Christians, then yeah, they kind of do because that's the way we were told to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're not told to go out and be judge and jury against everybody and not treat people right. I
Correct.
mean, we can't do that, guys. We have to. How are we going to fix the problem if we're going around bashing people? It's just not going to work that way.
Because
It's
it's
just
always,
not going to work.
believe it or not, Tammy, everybody wants to do what is called the "I gotcha" moment. Who cares?
Mm.
But so my good friend Tammy put the GoFundMe link in this live chat. There it is, guys. If you guys can do what you can, click that and do what you can for that. That's awesome. Thank you, Tammy, for sharing
That
that.
family. Well, Cynthia sent it to me. Cynthia's son was
Yes.
friends with this young man, so they know them personally. So it hits home.
Yeah.
It hits home for them.
Well, we got to do what we got to do to try to clean this up and make things better in our system. I keep preaching it, but then yet, I think in a certain sense, depending on how big this channel gets, I feel like it's falling on deaf ears. You know, I mean, I do all I can. I get tons of people reaching out to me, and I get overwhelmed. You know, and I just got an email today before I went live with a good friend that used to know me before, asking help. So it's everyone. It's almost every day, guys. So,
We need to
but
see if
anyway,
anybody has any connections with law students or pro
yeah,
bono
that would help too.
lawyers or any connections with any type of affiliated human rights, civil rights violation type of activists that are true activists that don't want to charge to do what's right. I understand they have to make money, but it's ridiculous. This is the Montana one. This one's really good.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play this now for everybody. Let me know if in chat you guys can hear it and see it, and we'll go from there. Here's this video. Courtesy and all credit, whatnot, goes to Montana Corrections for putting this up. The link is in the description, and also credit for Tammy for sharing it. Thank you, Tammy. Here's the video.
Victim offender dialogue is a process in which the victim of a crime or the surviving family members and the offender who committed the offense meet face to face in a safe and secure setting.
The facilitated VOD process should provide a pathway to a sense of further healing and further justice. The VOD is crime victim driven and must be requested and initiated by the crime victim. It is voluntary for both parties.
Though this may not be for every survivor, the experience of talking directly with the offender who committed the violence or violation can enable survivors to give full voice to some of the pain and trauma that they've experienced.
Victim offender dialogue is not about forgiveness or reconciliation. It's about the survivor being heard and the offender understanding what they have done.
If you are a crime survivor whose offender is under the supervision of the Montana Department of Corrections and are interested in a victim offender dialogue, for more information, please go to our website, cor.mt.gov and select Victim Services or call 888-223-6332. There is hope.
And there you go for that, ladies and gentlemen. Again, all credit goes to Montana Department of Corrections. Victim Service offers victim offender dialogue. Thank you guys so much for putting that up. Thank you, Tammy, for that share.
You're welcome. Do you have the cartoon one from Facebook?
Let me see. Let me go through what I have. I know I just did that one. I did the balance and restorative justice
I don't
one.
think I sent it to you in email. I sent it through Facebook. Can I send it to you now? Let me see if I can.
If you can send it in the chat, I'll just do it that way if I have to. If I can. I don't know if I can. Or actually, no.
No,
send it to my email.
It to email right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Little sucker. Okay. Sending it now. Give me just a second. Here we go right now.
Okay. Let me see if I can.
It's going to say VID. I'm going to send it right now.
Okay, 1 second. 1 second here.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
It's a really crazy day today.
Tell me about it. All right, here it is. Oops. Okay, hold on. Whoops. All right, I'll come back to that. And I'm going to do the share screen. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that up real quick, and then we'll go ahead and do the rest of the podcast with the chat. How's that sound?
Yeah, I got it. Let me tell y'all something real funny. This is funny. I don't know why
Go ahead.
it's funny. But this lady wrote in this one chat today, I just had to say it real quick before I forget. She was on the phone with her husband, and the CO walked by and he said, "Hug a thug." Like, really? Hug a thug. Like, I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I just had
No, you're good. Sometimes you need laughter in our life.
Hug a thug. There you go. There's a T-shirt. Hug a thug.
Hug a. You'll have to send that to me. I might just do that.
I was like, really? They said that? Jesus criminy.
See, I'm just going through the chat real quick here.
Okay.
I thank you guys for all your comments and getting involved with this tonight. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Love and respect every single one of you guys. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and do the video that she just shared with me, and we'll go from there. So here's that video. Wrong one. Uh-oh. Hold on a minute. There it is. All right. Boy, I'm really professional over here. All right. Anyways, here's the video. This is an ad.
Tired of typing tons of notes during class? There's finally a better way.
Short
Call Otter.
Accountability. Short moral story. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Sam. He loved playing with his toys, but he often left them scattered all over the house.
Oh, I remember those days.
One day, his mom asked him to clean up his toys before going to bed. Sam promised to do so, but he got distracted by a new video game.
Sounds so familiar.
He completely forgot about his toys and went to bed without cleaning up. The next morning, Sam's mom stepped on one of his toys and hurt her foot. When Sam saw his mom in pain, he felt guilty. He realized that he had not taken responsibility for his actions. Sam learned the importance of accountability. He started cleaning up after himself and taking care of his toys. Moral: we should be accountable for our actions and take responsibility for the things we do. Thank
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that too, Tammy, as well. That was spot on.
I was like,
Definitely
it's
what
so
we,
simple. So simple.
but it's
It's
spot on. I mean, it looks weird and all that, but it's, yeah, absolutely.
but I was like, and I don't know how everybody else feels, but yes, it starts at home. And listen, if my kids did something wrong when they were in school, then you have to, as a parent, want them to correct their negative action.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that's wrong with society, is that we want to be friends with our children.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference in being a parent and a friend.
Correct.
Sometimes we have to do the difficult things. That's what makes us a parent. That's what makes us and separates us from the things we have and do and become. And
Yeah.
we do no favors to our children if we bail them out of every little problem they have.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Well, you guys have to understand. I think that, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, I think accountability needs to be held for all people, including our higher ups. I think every politician that does wrong in this system, in our country, within our capitals, need to be held accountable. Every one of them, including DOC, judges, prosecutors, attorneys, you name it.
the
Everybody.
whole plea bargaining system is a crime in and of itself, if you ask me. The way that we have, I don't want to hear the poor, pitiful crap of, well, the court system's clogged up, or we assign too many cases to the public pretenders. I don't give a damn. That's not my problem, and that's not that person's problem. They're entitled to have somebody there to help them. And if they're
Mm-hmm.
not going to help them, then by God, get the hell out of the way and let somebody who can do. Because
Right.
the system is stacked against every single person, and I don't know how hard I can preach this or how much to get people to understand we are all, every damn one of us is one step away from being in that prison where all those inmates are.
Oh,
One in
absolutely.
3 people. 1 in 3. If you let that sink in, and then that 95% plea deal rate terrifies me.
Right. Well,
It
like I said,
terrifies
those
me.
those prison doors are always constantly revolving. Prison is a 24/7 business. It doesn't shut down. It's like Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Orphan said this at Cynthia. It is not fit for human consumption. Yet they will give prisoners a Bible. Garbage food is not Christ-like. Absolutely, they do it all the time, though. Unfortunately, guys, all the time. Because again, to repeat real quick, to let you guys know that, and this was last year's data, I believe, when I looked it up. I believe it was sitting at 400 billion. That's with a B, not million, billion. $400 billion of our tax dollars going into the system. And that's annually too, by the way. Okay, guys,
Well,
that's every year.
this is
Go
something
ahead.
I thought about too. I heard a nutritionist speaking the other day on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about the food. We
Mm-hmm.
will spend millions of dollars on 1 or 2 inmates to take care of their insulin shots and all
Yeah,
their diabetes medication because of the diet that we feed them.
but they don't
But we
even get
won't put
that.
the money in giving them healthy alternatives. My
Mm-hmm.
husband is on a diabetic diet, and guess what? Rick is now over 300.
Ouch.
And let me tell you something. You know what they did? So they've been on lockdown a lot. So for breakfast, all they had was pancakes and peanut butter and syrup.
That's not good for a diabetic.
Nothing else. And then for lunch, they had 2 corn dogs and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And if you know what TDCJ's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches look like, it's like
I do.
1 teaspoon of peanut butter and maybe 1 teaspoon of jelly. So
Right.
it's bread with a side of a spoon of.
Yeah, and you don't
It
even
doesn't
and
spread
bread,
over it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like
and
2
it's stale.
corn dogs and
Yep.
peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, and it's stale bread, and it turns to sugar. Go ahead.
They're not giving them any protein like they used to give them, like a boiled egg, which isn't that great either when eggs have been sitting around because it makes people sick, very ill. But
Yeah, and go ahead.
yeah, I was just saying though, when he told me that, I was like, they did what? They fed you what? Again? And they've been eating this for like 3 or 4 days because they have a couple idiots on their wing. They keep doing stupid stuff. Like, taking their shirts off in the day room, and then everybody gets punished and they lock down over taking their shirts off but they took them off because they're hot.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you can get an infraction. Believe it or not, this is a true thing. Sometimes you can get an infraction written up for taking your shirt off.
Oh, I'm sure that they did.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
100.
Orphan Annie said this real quick. The health problems come in with poor diet. I can contest to that, Orphan. Absolutely. When I did my time, I ended up coming across a gallbladder issue, and I thought I had to get it taken out. Thank God I didn't. But I did have a gallbladder issue, and man, that was painful. And it's all due to the food.
Yeah,
Cynthia said
the drinks too.
Cynthia said, or molded bread. Yeah, absolutely. Or, yeah, like I said, stale, molded. Yeah, absolutely. Again, Orphan said, sick prisoners and weak prisoners are easier to control. Man, Annie, you're spot on. I wanted to say that, but you took the words right out of my mouth. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely correct. That's the reason why they do this to us. That's the reason why the food is the way it is. That's the reason why, other issues in there are like that, because it keeps all of the inmates docile. You keep them healthy and fit, the DOC will lose control. You're absolutely correct. It is by design. Absolutely, Orphan. Spot on tonight. Curtis said, I lost a good friend because he got fed contaminated meat from China. Good Lord. I'm sorry, Curtis.
It's terrible.
And then John Doe, my good friend who I highly respect, said this. He causes disrobing, which tends to provoke sexual violence. I didn't know that. Wow, interesting. Hitler's, playbook.
Auschwitz playbook, yep. Yeah, because if they take their clothes off, then what happens? They're not around other humans because they're not allowed to be. I think if they gave them conjugal visits back, that's incentive for good behavior. Imagine that. and then gave them more family days. You're taking the humanity out of human beings, and you're expecting them not to act like idiots.
Right. Well, if we did the same, right, you're correct. If we did the same concept like Norway's doing, I wouldn't be doing this.
No, we'd be put out of this podcast. We'd have to find something else.
We'd be out of business. I'd fold in the towel.
We'd have to find something else. And I'd be okay with it, and I think you would too, for the greater good. We could help. Could help a different cause. Yeah,
I get burned out on this sometimes, but it is what it is. But yeah, absolutely. I bet you do, Curtis. I'm sorry. Look, man, I can relate. I know what it's like to lose a friend or a loved one. So yeah, my thoughts and prayers and condolences are going out to you on that, my friend. Oops, wrong button. All right. John said a bunch of pissed off men with pent up sexual energy in their underwear. Yeah. What could go wrong? Welcome to the kingdom of Yep.
Yeah. That's true.
It's true though.
It's the same with women though, John. It is. The women's
Yeah,
prisons
no, yeah.
are pretty darn violent, to be honest with you. Women hold more than men. They get mad. They get pissed off. They have their little fight, their disagreement. They settle their scores and they move on.
Mhm.
Women, on the other hand, we hold on to shit. We are the quintessential I'm going to get you for the rest of your life type thing. And it's pretty ugly in the women's prisons for that reason, you know.
Well, and
Oh,
again, this is
precious.
all great.
Sorry.
This is all great information. Again, it just, the topic for tonight, guys, is accountability. And I think you guys all know now, and if you didn't know, now you do, what the whole definition and the point behind accountability is all for.
I think the key takeaways are, Jay, 1, education. 2,
Boom.
being able to empathize with another human being that you hurt, whether it's morally, and I wish there were people to hear this that really need to hear this message, but if you hurt someone, especially emotionally, physical is terrible, but it's
Mhm.
the emotional. I'm talking from a damaged childhood background. It's
Mhm.
the emotional shit that hits me. I am
Yeah.
53 years old and I think I've lived more than half my life. And if you put it in that context and you go, there are things that somebody can say to me to this very day that will trigger me. I am much more equipped to handle those triggers and how I choose to give power or not give power to an individual. But the point being is, it's that emotional crap that you do when you hurt somebody and you choose not to rectify that thing that you did wrong, whether knowingly or unknowingly, but especially those that do things that are knowingly, they know they're doing something wrong. They might not understand why they're doing it, but you have to figure it out, because you can't fix it if you don't figure that part out. I saw
Right.
that. I'm sorry, Curtis.
Yeah.
And veterans, it's a whole nother unique thing, because there's a whole different can of worms to that. My husband's a veteran. I've been around veterans. I work with veterans. I feel it. I live it. I know it. I understand it. There was one that called in that there were notes in his thing, that hypothetically, I'm speaking hypothetically, is a veteran of 25 years. And he said to me, I'm reading his profile and we're hitting it off and talking, and I'm helping him do his claim and all this stuff. But I'm reading on his claim where he cussed another customer service rep out and told her all kinds of crap and blew up on her. It's the way you talk to people. It's the way, if you come at a military person that served in Afghanistan, Iraq, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, all these wars and these battles, and just the military lifestyle period. That's 25 years, 20 years they've put in. You cannot come at them sideways and expect not to get an ass chewing, because you're going to get it. You cannot be disrespectful to people and expect not to get that bite back. We have got to learn to just take a breath and go, hey, what's the issue? How can I help you? That comes out of my mouth 80 to 100 times a day. How can I help? We need more of that in our society. Jay, how can I help? Yeah. Doesn't that sound a hell of a lot better than what do you need? Or what are you calling for?
Yeah. Sometimes I just get lazy with my words, but
You know what I'm saying, though, in overall, what is the thing you always tell me? You always say, how can I help? You say it to me all the time. You don't realize it.
That is true. That is true.
You say it to me all the time.
I just look out for people.
Mental health is real, Cynthia.
Yep. Yeah. So, real quick before I sign off here, again, I want to give you guys the other portion of my update besides the product line issue I'm having. So just let you guys know what's going on with the podcast right now is that the podcast is going to be taking a little bit of a break. Well-deserved break. It's something that we've been planning for a while. So, me is going to be out of the studio until the 9th of next month. So we're leaving on the 3rd and we'll be back on the 9th, or give or take some a little bit, depending on how everything goes. So I'm just letting you guys know we're going to be taking a little break. I will be out of the studios for so Friday's Man's Night's my last show until I come back. Does that make sense for all of you? So, but you guys are going to be coming along with me. I'll be posting stuff on my YouTube and showing you guys that. So Orphan Annie, if you can hear me real quick, can you email me a little bit after the show? I wanted to get a hold of you and talk with you in private, if possible. I appreciate it. Is that your husband?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So while she's dealing with that, so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we got going on. So again, your host Jay will be out of the office or out of the studio for about a week, give or take some, and we're going to be taking care of a little bit of a thing that's long overdue, and take a break from everything. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for tonight. Orphan, email me again at voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. Again, you can see the email down there in the ticker. Orphan Annie, email me at voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. Again, Mark, if you were in here and I didn't see you, I need you to email me too also for your information so I can send your prize to you. And then, of course, let's see, Tin Man. I think Tin Man was in here earlier. I know you sent me your address before, but I can't find it. So just send me it in an email. And that way I can get your prize mailed to you. And Cynthia, I already have your address. I'll be taking care of that as soon as I can. So look out for it. It'll be definitely taken care of before I leave, nonetheless. Okay, so just look out for it in the mail, Cynthia. At least a portion of your prize. The others, you have to let me just have some more time. All right. With that being said, Curtis got in here and said, night all. Thank you, Curtis. Take care, my friend. Thank you so much for being in here. Cynthia said this real quick. Enjoy your time with your family. Absolutely. It's long overdue. It needs to be done. I need to disconnect from everything for a while. This does put a major stress on me, as you guys know. And my friend Tammy's back in here again. Welcome back, Tammy.
Sorry, it wasn't him. It was some other person.
Oh, you're good. I'm getting ready to sign off anyways, but You're good. Cynthia said, good night, everyone. Please smash the like button. Yes, please do what you can and share this far and wide so other people can get educated on topics that matter most to all of us. A major shout out to all of you in the chat. Thank you, Orphan. Thank you, everybody, for being in here. I appreciate you more than you know. And Tammy, you too, my friend. Thank you again for being in here and helping me out with this podcast.
You're welcome. And everybody, please, if you can, $1 or $2 to that family to help them with their loved ones' expenses. Prayers for everybody that's being affected by this heat, the storms, the flooding, and the
it's getting busier.
General, the hell everybody's going through right now.
It's getting busy, major busy.
Okay, guys.
And yep. We got to keep vigilant. We got to keep our eyes on what's going on, guys. If you got a locked up loved one, need help with the heat-related issues or anything prison-related, contact us right now. voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com, and I'll do what I can. If I can't, I'll steer you in the right direction. All right, guys? Thank you guys so much for your understanding and your patience with my stuff that I got going on. It's not easy running this whole thing and doing everything pretty much when it comes to the studio stuff anyways by myself. I'm not saying I'm alone when it comes to you guys, but you get the point. But anyways, with that being said, I'll see you guys on Friday's night's Men's Night, and then I won't be back in the studio until the 9th. With that said, I'm your host, Jay. Thank you guys so much for joining and watching another roundtable right here in our studios from Inside Out. Good night, everybody. Good night, Tammy.
Good night. Night, everybody. Light and love.